No mai, haere mai. Into the form, we've got plenty to talk about this upcoming weekend, including the Group 3 metric mile out of Whanganui will be run this season. We're back at headquarters as well out of Ellerslie, and we've got two meetings to touch on for the Gallops on Sunday. To talk about all of this action is our usual crew. We've got Aidan Rodley back in, Bevan Sweeney and Leith Innes. And this is what's coming up. We'll start with our feature, the Group 3 metric mile. Then we're heading to Ellerslie, where we've got some quality horses going around, including Orchestral, our racetrackers. We head off to Waverley, where we look at the road to the Jericho, the highlight on the program. Heading off to Oamaru, the Gore meeting has been popped here due to track conditions. The hardest preview, well, we've got Group 1 action at the park on Friday night leading into the weekend, and our best bets, as you know, to round out the show. As I said, our feature is out of Whanganui this weekend, and Bevan, unusual springtime. We've had weather around, sunshine and rain. What are we expecting on Saturday?
I spoke to Craig earlier in the week. He said the track was at a heavy 9, but there was plenty of rain forecast, and it's in that heavy 10 state now. There's rain forecast, not a lot, but enough today and into tomorrow. It will ensure, Pip, that the track will be in that heavy 10 spot. Generally, that's outside rail. It wasn't quite so much we were there when we were there last time when they were in that heavy 10 spot, but we'll just have to see what happens on Saturday. But we're in that heavy 10 territory.
Okay, well, our feature does feature some of the Winter Cup horses too, so some of them will be liking the track conditions. It's race number 6 on the program, the Hunterville Vet Club Metric Mile, with JBG's favourite at $4.60, Bradman at $4.80. Bellarado Boy, who won this race last season, he has had movement in the market. He's $6 into $5.50, and then you're getting out to the Southerner Master Marco at $7. Speaking of the Winter Cup, it's the key lead-in. Let's take a look at the performances here, and obviously JBG was the better of the race rival on this occasion, Bevan.
Yeah, he's a tough horse. There's some quality in this race as well when you add in Master Marco and others. Look, he just went down to Cork on a very slow tempo at his most recent start. I saw him at the trials yesterday. He's flying in front on an off-track condition. The draw, I don't think that's going to be against as we get to race start time. Master Marco has great quality. In fact, this is a really good running of the metric mile. What did you make of this, Leith? I think he's an obvious on-speed horse who can pick his spot, and he'll be fit as a fiddle.
Yeah, the best thing about him, Kelly's only had the 2 rides on him for 2 wins, and look, he had 53 kilos in the Winter Cup. This week he gets in with a luxury weight of 53.5, so it was only a nose between him and Bradman. I don't think there's much between them this week.
Yeah, I'm the same, and obviously there were really good runs in behind. I don't think there was a bad run of the horses that are going to the mile this weekend out of the Winter Cup, and it's great to see that form carrying on deeper into the years. A lot of the time we'll see those Winter Cup horses just go out. Master Marco has since gone on and gone really well out of that race too, so he's been the big improver, but he does need to step up a touch against those JBGs and Bradmans, I think. So I'm just not so sure where he measures up. I want to see him in this one, then I'll assess him for next time, but I'm just going to be a little bit wary of Master Marco in this one. Leith, how did you assess him?
Yeah, exactly, and look, obviously he's got the travel as well to factor in. He's got to go all the way to sort of, I don't know where they stay at Palmerston North. He is in good form at the moment, but look, I just think there's a couple others I'd rather be on this week.
Look, I'm going to respect him. I'm going to respect him pretty highly, even though he's travelling, but he's been wonderful this campaign, and he's good form. Winning form is always really strong coming into a race like this, especially when you're down at a very light weight. But look, I think we're almost forgetting a few of the senior old stooges here. Bellardo Boy, Just Ask Me, Bradman at the top of this market. We're going to have a look at Tobias, who, of course, was very good in the interprovincial, but for me, he's taking a huge step here against some really serious horses. Bellardo Boy, Just Ask Me, we wouldn't expect No Compromise to be overly competitive here. Look, he's a good, tough horse. This was a hell of an effort on a very tough track with a big weight, so I've got no doubt, Leith, that he's capable of winning a winter handicap. I'm just not sure it's this one on Saturday. No,
it's certainly going to be his toughest test to date. He gets in with a lightweight of 53 kilos, but he's also going for 5 in a row. It'll be a good training effort if he can.
Be a massive training effort, but like we talk about, you know, here's a horse who's won 7 of 25, so his record's good, but we talk about Master Marco having to step up again after wins. I think Tobias's step up is even bigger than Master Marco's. Just to answer that question, I think Kelvin Tyler has his horses at Otaki with Howie and Lorraine Matthews, so they look after his horses, and I think he's got a base there. We might see a few more from his stable, sort of picking off some of those CD features in upcoming weeks. But I've gone to the Winter Cup as a key guide, and I've really just hard to go past what I've seen from JBG. He's a horse, as we heard from Bevan, he's trialled, he's ready, and he's got the class about him, Lee.
Yeah, it certainly has. Look, it's a pretty strong field. Bellardo Boy's got the 60 kilos he's got to carry. Yeah, I just with Bradman. Billy Pinn's had 4 rides on the horse for 3 wins, and just taken back to the when he raced at Whanganui, where he ran second in a weight for age, where he carried 59. So he's down to a beautiful weight, 56.5.
I'm going to stick with JBG. I think he's been fantastic this campaign. I was there at the trials yesterday with the delayed trials and saw him, and he was very, very good. But I'll be having covering bets, make no doubt about that. Bellardo Boy at a track that he loves. You've got Just Ask Me. I actually thought he was okay on last Saturday on a track that was just blowing to pieces, so you can't get any sort of guide out of that. But look, I'll go with JBG, but I'm going to be covering on Bellardo Boy. He just always sneaks into races with not as much respect as he should, albeit he does have to carry the 60.
He does, but yeah, he absolutely does. And, you know, Joe Doyle gets on with them well. So that's a look at the feature and what the guys are liking, race 6. As we move on now to the open sprint, race number 4. And Spencer is a drifting favourite, interestingly enough. He opened at 3s. He's out to $3.60. Kopua at $6 in this market. Make Time at $6.50. And then you've got Liffey, who has had a little bit of specking, now into $8. That's how the market is playing. Let's take you back to Spencer last time out at Whanganui, and he almost picked up another win in what's been a great campaign for him. Bevan just found one better.
Yeah, I think Kevin Wise is bringing back Kopua to torment me when LJ goes for a spell. But yeah, Spencer, he's had a wonderful season, this horse. And look, I didn't have him on top at New Plymouth the other day. I think he gets into this race at 51.5 with Ladies Man up there at the top of the market and a returning Colorado Star in an absolute sweet spot. He'll have the fitness in his legs, albeit I did see Kopua at the trials yesterday, and we know how good he is, and he looked pretty good. But Spencer's been flying, Lee. Yeah,
he's been up a long time. It's been a great training effort by Aaron, and look, 4 kilos off his back. He's got a liking for the track at Whanganui as well. So no, Spencer's going to be awfully hard to beat. But like you said, Kopua did trial up good the other day, and he gets in the race with 50 kilos.
Yeah, on Spencer, like I know he's been up a little while, but maybe that just helps him. He's been seasoned. He's certainly holding his form. That last start second in Ohio Sasbon was a goodie. He's got form that really reads quite closely to Durham Lad, who's another one I think you've got to respect in this market. Next we want to have a look at in this is Faravello, who's another horse who's been going really nicely, and also from the same trial as No Rain Ever. Obviously a couple of horses with decent form. Leith, what were you liking out of this?
I was liking No Rain Never, Aidan. She just had the handbrake on here, Lily Sutherland. I know she's a last start winner over 2,000 metres, a listed race at Christchurch, but I reckon she trolled up. She's come back big and strong, and I know the stable are really, really happy with how she's going.
I'd have Faravello over No Rain Ever, just because Faravello, they tried him on a good track at Hastings. He's clearly a wet track horse, and he's very, very quick on those wet track conditions. No Rain Ever, I think, is in for a really big campaign. I'm sure that there'll be another decent rain and a very, very talented filly. I'm going to go with Spencer. I think this will probably cap up a serious campaign for a horse who's just developed so strongly. I think he gets in perfectly at 51.5. You know he races well here. His gate's going to be okay. It is a nice little race though, but I think he's in the sweet spot for mine to be taking out the 4th.
Yeah, I'm on No Rain Never. I just like what I saw at the trials. I think you're getting sort of $9 boosted, $3 a place. Look, she's barrier 1, you know, as long as the track doesn't get too heavy. And I just love those 4-year-old mares coming off a 2,000 metre run as a 3-year-old fresh up.
Like the other feature at Whanganui, I found these really hard races. In the end, I've gone to Spencer, just like what we've seen this horse doing, and just hard season. Geez, are we disrespecting Ladies Man a little bit with the 4 kilogram claim? I know it's 1,200 and short of his best, but he's a high-class horse and one worth considering. Yeah,
it's a race that you've got to be watching either way. Maybe some runs taking out of it, like Ladies Man. And don't forget too, whether you do like something, maybe it is Kapua, where you've got the odds surge to get involved with as well on all races if you're betting with the TAB, and the first from Whanganui is at 12:15 on Saturday. We are back at headquarters as well on Saturday. So Leith, what weather and track conditions are we getting up in Auckland?
Yeah, Can't wait to be back there at HQ. Obviously, they haven't raced there since the 20th of April, where they only got to race 6. So, look, the rail's in the true spot. They had trials and jump outs here on the 10th of last week. And, look, it's come up as a soft 5. We probably know doesn't matter how much rain they get between now and then, it's not going to get much worse than a soft 5 for sure.
That's what we want to hear as we take a look at one of the races highlighted here. And you can see at the top, Orchestral, $2.20 in race number 7. This is over the 1,400 metres. Habana at $6.50, Campionessa at $7.50 and Rudyard at $9.50, the runner in single figures. Let's go back to Orchestral. And Leith, I want to go to you here because you were on track this day. What did you make of her in person?
It was a really nice, just quiet trial first up. She's obviously growing. She's a 4-year-old mare now, and since this, she's also had a jump out at Ellerslie on the 10th of September. So between the trial and what she looked like at Ellerslie, she's definitely improved.
Yeah, the second horse home in that is Dream of the Moon, who's come out and run second in the listed Canterbury Bell Stakes at Riccarton on Saturday. The form looks okay. She's 3 from 3 at Ellerslie. Obviously, some brilliant wins: the Derby, the Avondale Guineas, and the Karaka Million 3-year-old Classic. She's high class, and she's obviously come up really well. Is this short of her best? Is she going to be vulnerable? There's all those questions, but she's a class factor in the race, no question, Bevan.
Well, I think if they're going to beat her, this is their best opportunity with 60.5 over 1,400 metres. But as you mentioned, Aidan, there's one X-factor horse in this field, and it is her. So I get the impression that she's been a little bit light through the first part of her preparation with her eating and holding condition, but you know, you trust the James and Wellwood team to put that on her, and I thought her trial was good. I think she'll be really, really tough to beat. It is an interesting race with horses coming back fresh, and Habana is one of those who, of course, was beaten home by the wonderful Bonnie Lass last time seen. Only beaten 4 lengths and has trolled up pretty competitive here. First looked clearly at Ellerslie, but Leith, you'll know a little bit more around this. Horse has won 3 of 6 over the 1,400 metres.
Yeah, look, Lance Noble's really happy how he's going. Obviously, he comes in this with 2 trials under his belt as well. And look, he's lucky that Campionessa is in the top of the handicap, and so the rates are sort of compressed where, look, he's got 60 kilos, Warren Sticks. He hasn't won fresh up before, but Lance is really happy how he's going.
Just a high-class horse, though, isn't he, Leith? And we saw that right through last preparation. It's just a winner. He's won 8 of 18, and well, his Ritual Mile was a special win on New Year's Day at Pukekohe. So you've got to respect him, and obviously the trial very good in the lead-up to this. Let's have a look at Rudyard. A horse who ran 3rd in the Karaka Million 3-year-old. We know this horse gets in beautifully at the weights, has the ability, and I thought a big contender here. Leith, how did you rate him?
Yeah, look, he's had 7 starts at 1,400 for 0, but I think he's a bit stronger now. Tony Pike stable, they're really happy how he's going, and the best thing about him, he loves Ellerslie. He's had 4 starts there for 2 wins and a placing, and I think if there is one to knock the favourite off, I think it could be him.
Well, if it's tempo related, then you probably land with Rudyard, wouldn't you? His record at the 1,400 metres, as you mentioned, Leith, is poor, but his record here is very positive, and if he can jump from that gate under Sam Weatherly and lead up like you saw there, I think there is a chance that Orchestra with the 60.5 might just spin the wheels for a couple of 100 or 50 or so metres before really getting into its gears, and then Rudyard could be off and gone. So it's an interesting race, but it's more about seeing Orchestral back, Pip, and the return of Ellerslie. Yeah,
it really is, and we know this isn't her grand final in any means, but let's hear for some connections and see if we can get a guide. We'll start with Sam Burgesson, and Brendan Popwell just asked him what his expectations are with Campionessa this weekend.
Yeah, well, look, we've got her fit enough to run a mile, so whether the 1,400 comes a bit sharp and another year older as well, but in saying that, she has won fresh 14. You know, she won the Group 2 Auckland Thoroughbred Breeders there after a little bit of a layoff there last year. So fingers crossed, you know, she can put her hand up and show a little bit of cheek. We'll just be happy if she was hitting the line, but in saying that, we wouldn't be surprised if she was competitive.
Yeah, she's coming up nicely. As I said, she's grown. She looks a completely different mare now. You know, she's got a big wither. She's so probably lengthened out a little bit, and you know, she's probably only a frame of what she's going to be in 6 to 12 months. But yeah, you know, Grillsy was really happy with her at Ellerslie, and yeah, we go into the weekend pretty happy with her.
Yeah, he's come up well this time around. He's trialled up nicely twice. Probably not fully through in his coat yet, but happy enough with him going into Saturday, and like he'll improve for that run, but looks an ideal race to get his preparation underway, and he's a horse that loves Ellerslie.
Yeah, Wessex is coming into it a little bit fresh. She had a trial at Ellerslie the other day, went nicely enough. 1400, we're going to take the blinkers off, just try something a little bit different with her, ride her a little bit more patiently and see if she can race well in doing that. And St. Bathans, obviously he had a run at Whanganui the other day and just probably got into an awkward spot on a track that was just a little bit holding for him, so up to 14 should suit him.
Yeah, she went nicely her first run without a trial, so she's going to come along from that well. Work's been very good. She pulled up well from her work on Tuesday, and I think the race will suit her, albeit, as I say, she's out of the weight Saturday.
Really pleased with her. Probably come up a lot quicker this spring than she did last spring. Her coats come through, and her trial at Cambridge was really encouraging. Obviously, she was entered for Te Rapa on Sunday, but just didn't want to run fresh up on a heavy track. So, look, this isn't the right race for her. Obviously, it's just a pipe open to get her preparation underway, and there's some nice targets for her once she gets up over further later in the season.
And she's a Group 2 Lowland Stakes winner in the past. Interesting, Andrew Forsman saying that Wessex won't lead. That really does throw that speed map into disarray. Maybe it's Seamus, maybe it's Rudyard who takes up the pace. But in the end, whichever way, we know Orchestral's got the pace to come over the top of even a slow speed. So she goes on top by default, but maybe just those couple of concerns just about her being a touch vulnerable fresh. I think they're pretty happy with her, and she might be heading to Australia off the back of this one. Yeah, she looked extremely good in her jump out at Ellerslie. I just can't take the $2.25 on offer. Look, she's got 16.5 kilos. Can't see any speed in the race. I think Rudyard can lead from barrier 1, and I'm happy to be on it sort of at $10 and $3 a place price.
I'm going to stick with the X Factor and the Class Factor in Orchestral, but I agree with Leith. The price is just that little bit short with fresh up, points and weight. So I'll probably cover a little bit. St. Beth and Sabina, I think, is sneaking into this race at 54 is a big danger, but she's the Class Act Orchestral.
Yes, she is. As we move on now to race number 2, this is the TAB handicap over the 2100 metres. Nereus heads the betting at $2.05 from Fly My Way, and then Canny Rock on that third line at $8. Let's go back to Nereus. Last time out at Hastings, was a beaten favourite this day, Aidan. How did you assess the run?
I really liked it. It was a second up effort. Obviously, he was the one doing the chasing. I really thought there was a decent bit of form around the horse. Obviously, Oamaru Gold Cup winner last preparation, gets up to 2100 metres, third up for the preparation. And speaking to Sean Ritchie, they were quite happy with this performance. They expected more, but by all accounts, he's trained on, and I thought he was clearly the horse to beat here, Leith.
Yeah, $2.05 is a little bit short, but like you said, he had to do all the chasing. His third up record, he's unbeaten as well. So I think the step up to 2100, the barrier 1 is a massive plus for him.
Probably the bet of the weekend out of Ellerslie, isn't he? I think the relevant factor you boys have already mentioned, that he had to do all the donkey work to try and drag up to the leader there, and that gave Wolfgang the soft sit on his back. He's stepping up to 2100 metres. Just loves that sort of trip. Hasn't seen Ellerslie yet, but I don't think there'll be any concerns. I still think he's one of the more exciting stayers in the country going forward. But this is a race where you couldn't count out Fly My Way as well, and Double Take, I thought a little bit disappointing, and yeah, I didn't know what to make of Canny Rock in that race at Hastings. He was off the nickel a long way from home, but this horse has been really consistent for the Brosnans, travels to Ellerslie. Can he beat Nereus? Probably not a mine one, but I think Leith, a definite first full player.
Yeah, look, he's very honest. He gets in off the beautiful weight of 54 kilos, where Nereus is on 59.5 as well. So he's not going to get many better chances to beat Nereus in this week, but on class alone, I think Nereus just has it over him. Yeah, I agree. Like he's chased Bosch there with 54 kilograms on his back. I think Nereus is a better horse than Bosch. So for that reason, Fly My Way is really running for place money for mine.
Well, let's hear from Nereus's trainer and Sean Ritchie, and Aidan just asked him how much benefit he's taken from that second up run.
Yeah, he's taken a good bit of benefit from it. You know, he's very much on trial for Melbourne this weekend. If he can perform here, then he'll be joining Maharajan over there, and be quite looking forward to that. I think there's some nice races for him over there, but obviously we've got to get his rating points up, and he probably needs to be putting a field away like this if he's going to justify a spot over there.
I think if he can draw a gate, get out of the gates, he can be a little bit tricky out of the gates, but he's been good this prep. But if he could draw a good alley, jump sort of midfield, I think I think he'll run sort of that top 4 or 5, and it'll be a good run.
I'm really happy with him, Aidan. I was a touch disappointed with his run at Hastings, but second up scenario. I don't always believe in it, so hopefully it was that. And he's come through it good. He worked nicely yesterday morning, and I think the step up in distance will be ideal, and be nice to be back at Ellerslie.
He's very well. We had options to go other places, but I feel that track might be, with a bit more rain on it, will suit him. And he's, I had a rider, but I've got, believe it or not, Donovan Mansour on. So back to his roots.
Yeah, that's old school for sure. The old combination, Bellin and Mansour, and freezing cold there at Cambridge on Wednesday morning. In the end, I've gone with Nereus on top. Really like what I've seen of this horse, especially last preparation, the way he's gone through the grades, and I really don't think we've seen his ceiling. I think he should be winning third up and booking his spot on a plane to Australia, Leith.
Yeah, a little bit short, the $2 on offer, but he's got 59.5 kilos, but he's drawn barrier 1. I think he'll be on speed, and yeah, he should be just winning if he's got a trip to Aussie for sure.
I'll just nod my head in agreement, Nereus, for me as well. I think he improves up to a staying trip. I think his run was a bit better than it looked, being a little bit disappointing first time of watching, but Nereus for me as well, Pip.
And it's also a bonus back race too, so you can bet into him with that little bit of confidence. If he were to get beaten, you could have bonus cash coming your way if he finished as second or third in the first race from Ellerslie, 12:30 on your big Saturday. Time for our race trackers. Leith, who have you found for us this week?
Broadsiding Pip, who's a 3-year-old colt, and look, he could win anything. He's got the same sort of profile as Animo. Obviously, he's going to run in the Golden Roses come next week. He's a $3.50 favourite. Look, the Caulfield Guineas is $3.20, but if you want to have a little bit of value, long range, this horse could be a Cox Plate horse. Gets in the race, he'll have 49 kilos, and he is fair dinkum flying at the moment.
Go back to the trials at Foxton yesterday, watch them closely. There are a host of really nice horses. This horse actually goes around on Saturday. Turn it up for Rawdon Burgesson. I know only 4 in this particular heat, but she had a really nice trial prior to this. She's got a fair bit of quality. She's got a nice sort of field to take on Saturday, but I think she's very, very progressive.
Taking back to Riccarton on Saturday, and the horse here in the yellow cap, just coming out to centre field, was back last in running the whole way. It's a race where 1, 3, 4 and 5 have all settled in the first 6 in running, and they've finished in those positions. This horse has bucked the trend of the race, run the quickest last, 8, 6, 4 and 2, and looks like a next up winner despite only having a moderate strike rate.
And I'll take you greyhound racing to a greyhound call. She's ready. She had no luck her first 2 starts. She qualified for Glenn Hodson in a 17.58, which is fair flying for a maiden. She shows exceptional pace there, and just as she tries to cross on Tuesday, she gets a check there, then she'll get another one. She'll come together with the 5, which is more significant. Gets dragged down and comes back at them late. She goes around on Friday night, race number 1. She finally comes up with an inside draw. That's what she wants. She's by the sire Magambo, who knows how to produce middle distance to stayers, and she is one to follow. So here is a summary. Broadsiding for Leith, Turn It Up for Bevan, look out for her at Whanganui, Zakat for Aiden, and she's ready for myself. We have 2 meetings on Sunday, and we're going to start with Waverley, where we take a look at race number 8, the NZB Air Freight Road to the Jericho, where Berry the Cash is the favourite at $5 from Irrigate at that quote, and you've got Lukwinik at $7.50 and Quid for Kevin Myers at $8. The horse we are going to highlight first is Berry the Cash. Obviously, things didn't go to plan in the Great Northern Swings, but this is what he's capable of, even on the flat.
Yeah, they punted him this day, and he was in the last leg of the quaddy, which was pretty sad for many. But he did fly down the outside, and he won really well. There's not going to be a fitter horse in this race. He's won at Waverley. He loves heavy tracks. They obviously were disappointed last week when he was hampered and fell, but look, he'll be the fittest there, team, and he does have ability on the flat, so I see him as really hard to beat.
Yeah, certainly. You know he's going to get the 2 miles as well, Bevan, but look, he's got the 59 kilos. Obviously, he's a late addition to the race after falling last week. Was unfortunate. Like you said, he's got great flat ability, and heavy track's not going to be a worry.
Interesting, isn't it? Is he a late entry, or did they have this race in mind anyhow? Obviously, it was a race that was meant to be run at New Plymouth, but as soon as they've moved it, they're thinking, well, let's give him his chance. He might well, in the end, go around in a Jericho. Just imagine that. But anyhow, I'm going to go on to Irrigate, who I thought was terrific last time out at Te Rapa, a horse who's bringing very good form. Had won at Harwood 2 starts back. The other horse who I really like here, it's in at Ellerslie, but should it get the scratchings and get off the ballots, is Perfect Man's, who was terrific in 4th. I didn't think there was much between these two. In the end, I'm going to go with Irrigate, but I really like what I saw from Perfect Man's. Leith, how did you see it?
Yeah, I'm all over Irrigate. That was probably my bet of the week last week at New Plymouth till it got rained out. Obviously, there's a question mark on the 2 mile, being by Ocean Park. She's out of an O'Reilly mare, but just the way she won there and ran through the line, I think she's got to be awfully hard to beat with 54 kilos on her back.
She's always had good ability. She broke hearts for a while, but it's great to see patience paying off with her. I thought the win at Harwood was in a soft race, and then went up to Te Rapa and did that. 2,400 metres, that was a big ticker in the profile. In the gate there will be okay, but I'm going to stick with Bury the Cash. My only other covering bet in this race will be Quid, who I think will stay 3,200 metres. Probably not at an overly quick tempo, but it will not stop Quid, depending on how wet that track is on Saturday. But Bury the Cash to just continue on a wonderful season.
Yeah, they were certainly beating the drums to Quid last week before the races got called off. I'm on Irrigate. I just think it's well weighted at 54 kilos. Tegan Newman on as well, knows the horse well, and yeah, a little bit of a question mark over the 2 miles, but I think she'll be awfully hard to beat.
Yep, I'm the same boat to Leith. I'm with Irrigate. I think just the way the horse has been running out those distances, the extra trip's not going to worry. And normally this race is truly run. Be interesting to see who does qualify for that trip to Victoria.
It really will be, and who can see out that extreme distance as well. First race from Waverley, 12:35 on Sunday. Our second domestic meeting on Sunday, we're heading off to Oamaru, the Gore meeting being transferred here. And the first race we want to touch on is race number 7, Has to Be You. Heads the betting here at $4.60 over the 1,200 metres. You've got La Bellanera at $5, Blue Vein at $5, and Street Fighting Man at $7 in the market. Speaking of Street Fighting Man, we're going to take you back to him winning. Was he the horse that caught your eye in this, Aidan, or do you like something else?
I am going to go against him in this one, but obviously, this was a very good win. Maybe just not quite so good last time out, although he was trapped really wide in a really competitive race. The horse in the gold colours just in behind, maybe they would have preferred to be racing it closer to home. But Midnight Run has been going really nicely. Just one factor about him, fresh on a 30-day backup, which he gets here. He's 5 from 13. He's an old boy, but he's going really nicely. How did you assess this form race, Leith?
Yeah, obviously Street Fighting, it's Thursday today, but Street Fighting Man hasn't got a rider down, so he's got the nice weight of 55 kilos where, look, Midnight Runner gets the 3 kilos off his back. A very even field though, Aidan.
Yeah, it sure is. Some more recent form comes out of the Parsons barn with La Bellanera. We'll also see Street Fighting Man here, who was caught wide. Luilue's run was much better. He seems to be going okay. I know he doesn't sort of get into this race in the end, and obviously this form stacks up okay. Did you want to see more from any of these leading into a race like this, Lee?
Yeah, La Bellanera, she was she's a little bit disappointing last start. Just comes down to the track. This day at Riccarton it was really firm and she looked more comfortable on the track.
Yeah, for sure. Another one we just want to have a look at is Has to Be You, whose resuming run for third was a very good one, and should be improved by that these days with Robert Dennis out of Ascot Park having transferred from the Roger James and Robert Wellwood barn. And this was a pretty encouraging run at Whanganui. He was hitting the line at the right time, Lee.
Yeah, and certainly sort of caught wide with no cover as well. Look, I talked to Robert and he was happy how the horses come through the race. The horse was going into that race without a trial or jump out as well.
Okay, in the end, I've settled with Midnight Run. I'm going to go to the top of the book, going to go for the old boy on top. He does go okay at Oamaru as well, and just like that freshener, because he has performed so well in that state in the past, I think he'd be ready to go. Letho, do you have on top?
Yeah, I'm going to go for Has to Be You. Robert Dennis, like I said before, the horse was fresh up, no trial or jump out, so there should be really good natural improvement, and with 54 kilos, Sam went on. Obviously, sort of top 3 chance.
And that's our look at Oamaru. That's race number 7 on Sunday. Make sure you tune into the action. Their meeting gets underway first at 12:10. We have harness racing back on the channel, of course, with Craig Thompson. And Craig, we've got so much to look forward to this Friday night with Group 1 action at the park.
Yeah, thanks, Philippa. Really looking forward to what has been a massive night at Alexandra Park Friday night. Of course, Addington as well, but Group 1 action there. And it is for the babies, the 2-year-olds. It's a Caduceus, a race where Millwood Nike, the champion, was recently retired this week, was a winner 2 years ago. This is how they line up at the 2200 metre starting point. Without You, 290 has been spec'd, 350 into that 290 quote. One and only, that's where the gate speed is. It's at around about that $3 mark. Opened up around about $5. You scroll down, you find the likes of I'm Sandra D, who's $8, and I think a realistic winning chance. And down to the bottom of the book, the likes of B-tastic, last start winner at $41. Going to have a look at a couple of videos for you. This one's a key one because this is gate speed, one and only going forward. Pretty quick off the gate, gets a lovely draw, and I think we'll use it again. Now, she's a filly that races in the Brecon Farms colours. Good run. Held them off nicely after getting a bit of mid-race pressure. Have a look at the horse down the very outside. That's I'm Sandra D. I thought she was the run of the race in this. She drew outside. She went back into the field. She ran the best last mile, the best last 800. 155 home in 56 seconds. And what I like about her is I think the extra trip will really suit her. 2200 metres longer than the 1700 metres gives her a chance to get into the race from the second row. And you're getting $8. Don't mind her. The other one that's a really good winning chance is drawn barrier number 1, and that's the form of Without You. Now, she was first up at Alexandra Park last start, Mark Purden's colours, ran into a good one and Always Be Matty. Now, Always Be Matty's very underrated. She got off the gate nicely, gets a lovely run up the inside here, and dashes home to get beaten about a half length. In saying that, she went good sectionals. She went 241, home at 157, home at 56.1, and a quarter in 27.8. Fair to say you probably couldn't go any better on debut for a 2-year-old filly than that. What I like, she got round the bends nicely. I think if she trails one and only and there's no pressure, she could snipe her in the run home. So you can understand the market move for her at around about $3 at the moment. Really good field. That race will be 8:24, trackside 1 Friday night. One of the features, though, is the big bangers. It is the Spring Cup, 2200 metres. We've got the Grins winner back in the form of Merlin. Let's have a look at the market for you. Here he is, $2.10. Tricky race for him. This is a race that be a little bit cautious on. 20-metre handicap first up from a stand, can win. Sooner the better stablemate. More keen on him at 360 because he's got the handicap advantage. And the one that I really like is Jollymont, a horse that was good enough to run 4th in the Derby behind Merlin, Don't Stop Dreaming, and Sooner the Better. And he's got standing start form and trial form. I'll take you to a standing start run at Cambridge Raceway, where he stepped away over 2,700 metres, got forward. That's Republican Party to his outside. That's right, the horse that won the Hannah Memorial on Sunday. Smoke in the water in front, and he gets over the top of them. Pink cap, lime green colours, keep an eye on him. He's a good horse, Jollymont. Now, he resumes off the back of a nice trial at Franklin last week. They ran 55 seconds off the front. He run home better than 55 seconds. Todd Mitchell will take the drive. I think they'll add the Murphy blind to him because he lay in a little bit on the bends at Franklin last week, but Alexandra Park, a bigger track, $4.80 from $6. If I'm playing something to beat Merlin, he'd be my tip, Jollymont in the Spring Cup. Really looking forward to that. The race last year was taken out, of course, Copy That got beaten last year. 2 years ago, taken out by Kango. So backmarkers can win, but Merlin off 20, not an easy task. Let's go to our feature at Addington Raceway. It's race number 4. It's the Group 2 trot, the Macca Lodge, and what a good field this is. Let's have a look at the market, headed up by Empire City. She's $2.20, Phil Williamson. 4 Wise Woman, who's unbeaten to date, won her last 3 starts. She's at a quote of $4.80. $7.50 for Princess Sadie. Fair and Faith, nice filly. John Morrison, inside draw, it's at $8, and work our way down to the likes of Paramount Lady at $17. Key video to show a horse that is in good form. around about May, Auckland. This time in was obviously Empire City. Now, this is her performance winning the Group 2 Lone Star. We'll pick them up 250 out. She'd worked forward in the running. She's a class filly. She's won 7 from 11, so we can see her here just holding out Paramount Kiwi, who's an outstanding horse in his own right. The likes of Father Barry here as well. I thought she's drawn awkwardly, but she's the best horse in the race. Of course, she's a winner of 7 from 11. She just needs a little bit of luck from that outside draw, but she has the class to overcome that. I think from the inside, Johnny Morrison's runner at $8 does represent a little bit of value if you want to play something outside the square. And of course, the unbeaten John Dunn, Tim Williams and the Edmonds team, they combine with their runner and it will go well as well. That'll be a big night. Addington Raceway Friday night, of course, Friday night lights action will take us through there from 4:30. Mark Cooks and myself in studio with Craig Rowell and our Cole Sims on track. Philip will get all the action, all the interviews on a Group 1 night at the park.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. So as you mentioned, do not miss Friday Night Lights, the first race from Alexandra Park, 5:32.
Rocky went clear, runs up the track here. Big Time Fern gets a wee sniff. Then we've got Big Time Shred down the outside. Gold Star Colson. Midnight Rocky in from Big Time Fern.
Mantra Blue now goes to the lead. On the inside, Twister. Marco late down the outside, but Mantra Blue too good.
Now coming through Lux Libertas, over on the inside Bell's Bow. Lux Libertas ranged up to Midnight Scandal, shooting for 4 on the bounce, and she's got it. Lux Libertas too good.
Friday and Sunday delivering the winners as we try and find you more best bets this weekend. Leith, as usual, we start with you and you've been on fire, so who are you with this week?
Yeah, I'm going to take you to the last race at Ellerslie on Saturday. Cast of Diamonds. He's had a run at Hawke's Bay where he's sort of had 59.5 kilos and he was caught wide with no cover and look, he was only beat 1.5 lengths. He's drawn good on Saturday. He's drawn barrier 5, $3.80. Matt Cartwright on. I think it'd be awfully hard to beat.
We'll try and find one. Let's hope that we don't get a deluge like Saturday where it's impossible. But Leica Ace was very good, fresh up at Waverley. It is in the second on the program. In fact, it wasn't at Waverley. I can't remember off the top of my head where it was, but it's in Waverley, race number 2 at least. It's had a bit of a break in between times. It'll jump, put itself there, handles off track conditions. Should be very tough to beat. I'm going to just try and get a bit of a confidence booster after missing last week. I'm going with Heath Lucid, who's placed in 2 stakes races. Whanganui Guineas last time out earlier on the Castletown Stakes. Just looks like a Monty if he runs in the first at Waverley on Sunday. Philippa.
Always the way, Aidan, when you tell us how many you've had in a row, they go down as I move on to All Over Rover, and I'm the opposite. I can't find a winner, so hopefully this dog can get us home. I think back to Whanganui, back to the 520. We'll be taking out race number 3 for Lisa Cole. Here's a summary. Rosso likes she's ready as well in race number 1, making her the best bet. I'm with All Over Rover at the same meeting. Jeremiah, Craig's with him out of Alexandra Park on a Group 1 night. Cast of Diamonds for Leith. Aidan's with He's Lucid and Bevan is with Leica Ace, and that completes the form for another week. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks to Bevan, Aidan and Leith. Hopefully we've found you more winners and we'll catch you back next week. Haere rā.